All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm Cindy Hernandez. I'm a licensed massage therapist, NLP practitioner, and immigrant identity coach. So I help humans from cultural backgrounds release that immigrant identity and create a new identity to better serve them in their life and create that freedom, love, happiness that they seek.
And my name is Valeri McLaughlin, intuitive heart healer, energy artist, spiritual guide, and I help light beings connect to their heart center magic so that they can create a life full of love from their heart space as they connect greater to spirit and their highest self so they can be supported and guided throughout their journey here in our humanness. Good morning, Cindy. How you doing?
Good morning, Val. How are you?
Good. I'm doing really good. I got this hey, I got this beautiful new energy art mug. Can you see it? Let's see.
I can see.
It's from my Rainbow Heart Shop, the Love is One. This coffee's just amazing.
I love it. It's so colorful.
Pulling that energy. Yeah, well, it's the colors of the rainbow. It supports anything in my Rainbow Heart Shop supports the LGBTQ nonprofit, whatever. I totally got the letters all jumbled up this morning. I don't know why. It supports an LGBT. I can't even get the letters right today.
You know what
I'm a member of the LGBT community. There we go. See, I didn't have to think about it. I just had to let it come out. So yeah, I created this one and another one to help support the community and to give back. So they're all both of them are rainbow colors.
I like it. Love is one.
Love is one. Yeah. And what are we talking about today?
We were thinking about talking about like seeing the different sides of you. So, and it's, I don't know if you want to start it or I can go.
Go ahead. Go for it.
So one of the reason why this came up is because yesterday I had this incident with my daughter. She's been facing a lot of anger, a lot of stress, a lot of, I don't know, different emotions, and they're all bubbling up. And me knowing that these things, these emotions don't just start out of nowhere, they bubble up. And it's just something that's been bubbling up within her and really exploding. And one of the things that I know is that we are simply reflections of everything in front of us. So when she gets really angry, it tends to trigger me. It tends to really trigger me. So then I have to look within and see, what is she reflecting in me that I'm not getting? And then one of these moments happened yesterday. And it was like, I was freaking out. I was like, she needs help. I need help. We all need help right now. Like I couldn't take it. And then I was like, okay, on my ride home, I was in silence. So on my ride, not home, on my ride to work, I was in silence and I was able to reflect. And one of the things that came up for me was this side of me that I've been too busy not noticing it, that it showed up. And it was like, I was like so shocked. I was like, oh my God, that's me. But that's like a different version of me that I've never seen. Like I haven't had the chance to actually look at. And it really reflected me and I was in shock. It's like, if you could just imagine this face of like, how dare you kind of thing. And it was like that. That's what I saw in myself. I was like, how dare I be like that? And then it was just like this, like, I don't know. It was this weird thing, but I was able to see myself. So now from there, I'm able to heal that part of me so that it doesn't keep on showing up, so that I can start to heal myself and heal my daughter as well. Because as I'm healing myself, I'm healing her.
That is so true. So true. By healing ourselves, we help to heal others.
Yeah.
And help to heal the generations that follow us. And we all help bring healing to our ancestors.
Yeah.
It's all encompassing. This is so good, and the fact that it's happening right now is not a coincidence, because right now, Mercury 2 days ago went into retrograde. Mercury happens in retrograde 3 times. This Mercury in retrograde begins most of its time in Scorpio, and that's all about the self. So this retrograde is bringing transformation, insight, inner wisdom, going into your core truths, and healing your shadow, because Scorpio is about doing a lot of that shadow work too. So it's like perfect. And then the anger part, we're still in Mars retrograde. That all is encompassing too, because that was bringing up that type of energy, that fiery energy, that anger. It's going to be interesting because tomorrow a big new moon happening in Libra. So there's a lot of energies moving through that is invoking these things with change in changes for us. So we're going to see them, whether it is in awareness in our actions, where we go to do something, you're like, oh my God, like, why do I keep doing this? Or, it just, you have that moment, like, where maybe you keep saying something over and over and you finally catch yourself and you did not realize it. Or somebody showing you, like your daughter, and all of a sudden it's like a smack in the face and you're like, what the heck just happened here?
Yeah. Yeah, but you also have to be really open to receive those things, because if we're so closed off, we're not going to catch it. We don't catch whatever it's showing us, whatever side of us is showing up at that moment.
Yeah. And that's why, like, a lot of things in our lives happen. They happen to show us these things or to help
Hmm.
redirect us.
Yeah.
And we can get into that victim mode of, why is this happening to me? Why is my daughter like this? Why does she keep acting out? Instead of being in that mode where you're like going, how can I help her? Oh my God, how can I help myself? like, like, I need to spend some time working on this. And that's amazing. And that's part of what we really want to inspire people to do, is to really look at things and how can we evolve in ourselves.
Yeah. There was, I wanted to add to that victim mode too. Like, life, the thing with this, I've learned this, is that, you know, God isn't doing things to test us. The universe isn't doing things to test us. Anything that's in our world isn't doing things to test us. It's just simply reflecting us. It's reflecting something within us. And if we can take that as that, then we take the victim mode out. We take that victim mode out and we are able to move forward with that. We're able to shift. We're able to heal in
Yeah,
that way.
so true. And yeah, I've used the word tests, the universe tests you, but it's really, it confirms. So, like, if you're going, like, say you're going in one direction, let's say you have these things wrapped around money, like, I'm always broke. And then you start realizing that when you keep saying I'm always broke, you're creating more of that. So then you start to change the way you talk to yourself about it. And you say, I'm a $1 million money maker, right? And well, that felt really good to say. I just, like, lit up when I said it. But when you say, like, I'm a $1 million money maker, and then money starts, like, flowing to you, and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Money is flowing to you. And then, like, maybe something happens. Maybe, like, you get a flat tire, and you're like, oh, I can't believe I got a flat tire. Everything was going so good. And you get frustrated. And it's like, why is this happening to me? And it's like, it's not happening to you. It's like confirming to you, like, okay, you have to put money out to get a new tire now. Like, how are you going to handle that situation? Are you going to go back to, like, I'm always broke and I never have enough money to do these things, and I don't have money to do this that I really want to do? Or you're going, like, I am so blessed because I'm a $1 million money maker and all this money is coming to me, I can fix my tire. So we might call them tests, but they're not really tests. They're like confirming that this is the new direction that you wish to go. It's kind of like what you're talking about the brain.
That's a side note. So I was telling Val, like, fun fact is that your brain already has the answers before your thoughts do. So your brain is it already has that mold of, so like if you think of a human brain, you think of all of the like little swirls and all of the things that happen in a human brain, right? But those have already been created from, childhood, from like a long time ago. Those waves have already been created. So those waves, if you're I'm going to do it simple. Like if you're talking about money right now, if you're constantly saying that you're broke, that wave is already in there. It's already ingrained in your brain. It's already there, and your thoughts already your brain already has the answers before your thoughts do. So it automatically starts to say, I'm too broke. You know what? Until you have that desire and that like fire within you to change that, then you can change the wave of your brain, but you have to do it consistently, because if not, you're going to go back into the same wave that you've been doing. So like you were talking about the flat tire, instead of going back into that victim mode of like, why is this happening to me, you have to move it into, this is happening for me because I deserve new tires. This is happening for me because this car deserves so much love and I deserve this car. And when you're in that space, that now you're rewiring your brain into a different thing. So now it has a different route rather than the same route that it's been going through. But you have to keep on doing it, because if not, it'll fall back into that old route. And that's a side note.
It's not a side note. It's all connected.
Yeah.
It's your brain. We talk about it being like the universe. Like these things happen for a reason, and they're happening for you, not to you. And like it's how are you going to choose to move up? And we can look at them as calm tests or whatever you want, but it's really not. And to go back to what you said about God is doing this, and there's a lot there. I've heard it like recently, like if God is so great, then why does he allow like all this hate to be in the world? But you know what? God gave us this free will. And with this free will, they don't intervene. The angels, the gods, the light beings, the ancestors, they don't intervene. But they're there to support us.
Yeah.
They're what I like to call our spiritual support team. They're there to support us. They don't step in unless it's like something really drastic that's maybe not supposed to happen. Like they might nudge us a certain way because of certain things, but 99.9% time, they don't step in unless we ask them. So God is giving us the ability to think for ourselves, to make choices for ourselves, choose how we wish to show up in this world. And that's a beautiful thing. He's not down there with strings like a puppet saying, okay, you're going to move this way, you're going to move that way, no, he allows us to make that choice, or she allows us to make that choice. But when you pray and send up your intentions and you have conversations and you ask for help, they help guide us along. They help move us in the direction we want to go. And it's this beautiful thing. And so many people lose faith because they believe that, God is the one that's supposed to be creating these miracles. But we are the ones that are supposed to be creating the miracles. And God is just there to help us and to show us that it is possible.
Yeah. That's 100% true. It's like, it's again, it's that victim mode. It's like you're not taking responsibility for yourself. You're not taking responsibility for the way that you want to be, for the way that you should show up in life. You're not taking that responsibility. You're giving it to somebody else, where that's where your power is. You were put here for a special reason, and it's your job to find it. It's your job to allow yourself that. God only placed a heart on you. He placed love. And then what you decided to look at love as, or what you decided to do with love, that's on you.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate what you just said there about that being in victim mode, because I was having this conversation with somebody, and that is like the piece that I was missing, that I need to go back to that person and have that conversation with, because I never looked at it as being in victim mode. And see, these are how things like show up for you. Like, you know, you were talking about your daughter and everything, but you just mirrored something to me that I needed to see, that I had missed, not realized. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. But yeah, like if we're going back into like our shadows and like not necessarily, yeah, our shadows, like everything that reflects us, because everything in our life is just a reflection. It is just a reflection. And when you can look at life as a reflection, then you can say, I choose to do something different about this. I choose to do something about this, you know, and that's what we have, choice. We have choice all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. We have so many choices. And, you know, I hear people say, I have no choices, and you do. And you may, you know, your choices may not be at that moment ones that you necessarily want to have or want to make, or, you know, but your choice is how you choose to show up and move through that,
Yeah.
the energy you choose to be in. And, you know, when you go through some things, you have to experience those emotions. You have to experience that anger. Like your daughter needs to experience that anger.
Yeah.
In that anger that you find more love.
Yeah. It like everything, literally everything in our life that we experience that is not quote unquote good, or whatever you want to claim it as, those things we have to experience them. Like, because there's something that's coming up there. There's something there.
Yeah, and when you experience the darkness, you can see the light.
Mhm.
So when you experience anger, you you can experience joy. And then when you experience joy, you can appreciate the joy more because you had been in that anger and you understand what anger is. And then it becomes an easier choice of what energy you want to stay in and work through. But you know, when you're healing, it's important to feel those emotions and not just like disclaim them. You know, um, like right now, I have like this sadness within me, like this the I'll be in meditation and I'll find myself just like crying, or you know, something, I'll read a story about something, and like it could be something good or it could be something where it was like challenge, you know, somebody's going through something, and I'll find like these tears in my eyes and I have this sadness, and I'm like then I start reflecting on like what sadness is, and I'm just allowing myself to work through it because I haven't got to where it's coming from. I feel it's something deep that I've like pushed off. Um, but I'm like, really, what is sadness? And what is sadness connected to? So I start asking my questions, and I allow myself to be in the sadness, but I also, in that moment, I choose not to stay in it for the whole entire day. I choose to be in an energy of love and happiness. But at the same time, when I'm like looking for the answers of the sadness and when it comes up, I allow myself to experience it because that's where I'm going to get the healing that I need to move on, the wisdom and knowledge that I can bring forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And again, we come back to we're human. We're supposed to feel these feelings. We're supposed to feel these emotions. We're allowed to let them bubble up and
Mm-hmm.
come out.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing
Yeah.
when you allow yourself to see these reflections and these things, and it doesn't necessarily have to come from your family members. It could be coming from a song. It
Hmm.
could like, songs get you in so many different ways.
Yeah.
uh, and and when you start to be in this different energy and you start hearing songs like Love Hurts, like old rock band Love Hurts, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like, oh my God, stop program. No, off. Like you realize these things that, you know, those things, even though they might sound amazing and they might have an amazing voice and maybe you can relate to them, but they're also planting those seeds back into your subconscious mind to rewire your brain back to the old way that you used to think.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it rewires it. Like it literally makes it go back like, okay, let's go back into memory lane and just keep on going down that route.
Yeah. And so, being mindful of this when it happens, change the channel, change the song,
Yeah.
will help you not to bring yourself back to that, and realizing that, love hurts. And that's actually, that could be in anything. Like you hear songs, they talk about how they got no money and they're broke, or, all this money goes to, this woman or whatever it is. And you're like, you start singing and you're like, oh my God, I'm singing that I don't have any money. And you catch yourself and you're like, oh no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, there's actually a song that was on TikTok that my daughter used to listen to, and I would be like, no, don't listen to that. That's so not good for your subconscious mind.
Yeah, and I appreciate music is amazing, and it's part of creation, and it's part of the way we create, and it's part of the way we express ourselves. So these songs are created for a reason, and part of the reason for some of these creations is that the person writing them and performing them is healing.
Yeah.
And it does help people, and it does help people heal. But when you turn around and you start really shifting your whole energy, you realize that some of these songs that you loved before, that you can't listen to. Like, I had an artist back in my mid to late 20s, early 30s, that I would listen to, and I can't listen to any of her songs anymore, not one of them anymore, because I'm not in that energy, and I don't want to be pulled into that energy anymore. But for that time period, I needed those songs to help get me through.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that these songs are wrong. I'm just, being aware that these things can happen in anywhere.
That we evolve too, that we're not the same person. We shift. We are allowed to shift, and we're allowed to change, and um we're really allowed to change who we were. And yeah, at that moment, that's what served you, but right now it doesn't serve you anymore. And it's like I've been through this process too with um with certain things, like certain people. Like I used to connect with them really well, and I just don't anymore. It's just not it's not it's not that I have anything against anybody, and it's not like you have anything against that music. It's just that it doesn't connect anymore. We're just at a different frequency.
Yeah, and you can still be friends with them. Like, you don't connect anymore, but like every once in a while you might like call each other up, or, and when you evolve and grow, like people talk about it like, oh, you lose friends. Well, you don't lose, like there are some friends that maybe you don't, because they're just so in that negative mind space that you just can't be around them anymore but they just grow, they become a different part of you, and you more people in your community. They're just different minded people. Like, they're different people that maybe you used to talk to or hang out with or do things before. You find you can't do things. Like, I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
And, part of that was my spiritual journey. And I used to teach classes on alcohol and where it came from, and about spirits and different things, and wine and things like that. And now I have no like desires, because I evolved and grow and changed. And that's my personal. But if somebody else isn't still does that, that's fine. That's their journey, not my journey.
Yeah.
There's something else that came up while you were talking that I wanted to talk about. And I'm not sure what it is, but it was really it was a really important part that I wanted to add, but maybe that's meant for another chat.
Yeah. All right. So I think this is it. And we will catch you guys on Tuesday at 10:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Where can they find you, Val?
They can find me at intuitivehearthealer.com. You can book a session with me through there, or a call to learn more about my services and what I do. You can also watch the video that I put there to help you along the way. You can follow me on Instagram at Intuitive Heart Healer, or join my Facebook group, Intuitive Heart Healer.
And you can find me at cinderellaspa.com and at Cinderella Spa on Instagram and Cindy Hernandez on Facebook. And we will catch you guys. Have a great day.